Alright, let's take a look in the box at the Troy Lee D3 Fiberlite helmet. So when your helmet arrives, the box will look a little bit like this. In fact, it will look exactly like that because that's how the box is coming out of the factory. So let's just open up the D3 box. So there we go. Your helmet will be sat inside like that. I have actually pre-unwrapped this one and wrapped it back up again, so the one thing that will be missing is the paper liner in this particular video. You will get an instruction manual with your D3 helmet, which I definitely will not read, so we'll throw that away. And here comes the helmet itself. So let's just get it out of the box. Get rid of the box, and then there is your Troy Lee Designs D3 Fiberlite helmet. So it comes in a protective fabric bag. Now the D4 does come, I think, with a proper helmet bag. So obviously there's a difference in price point between the D3 and the D4, and it's even evident in the actual bag that the helmet comes in. So we'll get it unwrapped, or get it unfastened. So there's drawstring pull. Just open up the drawstring and the bottom of the bag, and then unwrap the helmet. He says, doing it very, very badly. And there we go, that is your Troy Lee D3 Fiberlite helmet. So, I've gone for the gloss finish in silver and blue. I prefer a gloss finish to a matte finish. I think the matte finishes, once they start to get a few marks on them and that kind of thing, they tend to look really scruffy really quickly. So, I've gone for the gloss finish. But if the worst came to the worst, and the helmet was starting to look a little bit marked and tatty, as long as it was still usable, I would probably go for a helmet wrap job. There's companies that will offer that kind of thing. People like ENV Graphics and Signage in Wigan, they do Troy Lee helmet wrapping, so you can get a customised design on there, but that's for somewhere a little bit further down the line. But as for the helmet itself, looks pretty decent. It's got all the usual vents in the usual places, just here around the back. And then as you go towards the front, there's vents at the front there as well, and then around this vent. So the actual airflow when you're wearing the helmet should be pretty decent. In terms of the actual padding inside, the cheek pads are velcroed in. Now, I've done a previous video on a 100% aircraft carbon helmet, which is also on my channel. And if you take a look at that, the cheek pads in that helmet are actually clipped into place, whereas these are velcroed in. Now, I've found that the clip-in cheek pads do tend to move and come a little bit loose, whereas this hasn't happened so far with the Troy Lee D3, so that's been a real positive for me. In terms of the actual lining inside, you can see what's in there. It's got the traditional strap with the double D-ring, so you know what you're getting. You can fasten that up. It's not going to move once it's fastened up properly. I know D-rings are a little bit more fiddly to fasten and undo, but for the actual security of having the helmet stay on your head, I think that's a really good thing. In terms of the actual look of the helmet, I mean, you get what you pay for with Troy Lee. You know for a fact that the helmets are going to look really, really good, and this is absolutely no different whatsoever. The helmet does look absolutely fantastic. It's been a real improvement on, if you remember the earlier Troy Lee helmets, they're like the D2, which was basically a bowling ball with a chin guard on the front. Certainly they've stepped up over the years, but the problem I always had with Troy Lee was the fact that I could never find one that actually fitted properly. They always felt a little bit uncomfortable on my head. Case in point, when I actually went to buy this helmet from Sorted Race Gear in Warrington, they had all the new D4s in, and I tried the D4 and it just felt like a completely different fit. Like the consistency in the fit wasn't there. It felt totally different wearing a D3 than it did to wearing a D4. So even though I was actually prepared to spend the extra money on a D4 with the MIPS system inside it, it just wasn't comfortable. So after trying the D3 on, it just felt completely different and it just felt much more comfortable. So I actually saved a few quid by going for a D3 over a D4. The other thing I would suggest with Troy Lee helmets is that you to pay careful attention to the sizing. The sizing is on the actual outer box, so you can check it. But if you were, say, a medium, it might be worth just checking, trying on a large, because they do tend to run a little bit small. Case in point, this helmet's actually a double XL. Now, you know, some people will say, flipping heck, Rich, you've got a massive head, but I didn't think it was that big. But it does fit well. It's very, very comfortable. I'm very pleased with it. You know, all the cool kids wear Troy Lee, as we know, and that's the reason it's one of the most popular brands out there. But in terms of the actual helmet itself, can't fault it. It looks absolutely superb. I'm sure it'll do the job for years to come. Well, not too many years, not like the last helmet. But if you're in the market and you want a really, really good quality, good looking, full face helmet that fits well, that's nice and comfortable, the Troy Lee D3 might be a good option. Check it out, see what you think. I hope this video has been useful.